The city stood still, buildings reached for an empty sky, wind whistled through deserted streets. It was a symphony of silence. Dust and debris were the only signs of movement. John coughed, the sound harsh in the stillness. He scanned the empty avenue, his heart heavy. Where was everyone? He had searched for weeks. Every day the silence chipped away at his hope. He adjusted his backpack, the weight a familiar burden. His supplies were dwindling. Loneliness pressed in on him, a suffocating weight. He was starting to lose hope. Was he truly alone? He wasn't alone for long. He spotted her by the river. She was scavenging for supplies. Her name was Sarah. Her eyes held the same fear, the same bewilderment he felt. They joined forces, a silent agreement passing between them. Their search continued, a desperate hunt for any sign of life. They checked every building, every house, every shelter, but the silence was their only answer. Every empty room, every abandoned car, every silent playground echoed the same dreadful truth. They were the only ones left. They settled in a small cottage. It was away from the echoing emptiness of the city. The remnants of someone's life lay scattered around them. A child's toy, a half-finished knitting project, a family portrait, faces smiling from a bygone era. These relics of the past were a constant reminder of what was lost. They brought tears to Sarah's eyes. John felt a lump in his throat, the weight of their solitude pressing down. They were surrounded by ghosts, ghosts of laughter, of love, of life lived. The silence was deafening. It was a constant reminder of the vibrant life that was now lost to the wind. They spent hours in silence, each lost in their own grief. They mourned for their families, their friends, their lost world. They mourned for the future they thought they had. One evening, John found Sarah crying. He sat beside her, offering a comforting hand. No words were needed. They were bound by their shared loss, their shared solitude. In that moment, they weren't strangers. They were two souls clinging to each other in a vast, empty world. He knew they had to find a way to move forward, to find some semblance of purpose in this new, quiet world. Section 5. Finding Solace. They fell into a routine. They scavenged for supplies. They tended a small garden, coaxing life from the barren earth. They read by candlelight, sharing stories from worn-out books. Slowly, tentatively, hope began to bloom. In the quiet moments, a shared look, a gentle touch, they found solace in each other's company. Their shared grief, once a barrier, became a bridge. Their laughter, though rare, was a precious sound. It broke the silence, a reminder that life, however fragile, went on. Section 6. A flicker in the dark. One day, while scavenging in a deserted library, John found a ham radio. It was dusty and old, but it sparked a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, there were others out there. He spent days cleaning it, repairing it, pouring all his hope into the machine. Sarah watched him, her heart mirroring his cautious optimism. They both understood the stakes. The silence had weighed on them for too long. The possibility, however slim, that they might not be alone was a lifeline. Section 7. The Promise of Tomorrow. Finally, the day came when John turned on the radio. The static crackled, then faded. Silence. His heart sank. Just as he was about to give up, a voice. It was faint, distorted, but undeniably human. He shouted into the microphone, his voice trembling with a mix of hope and disbelief. The voice responded. It was a woman, her words filled with relief and joy. They weren't alone. That night, under a blanket of stars, they dared to hope again. The impossible had happened. They had found a connection in a disconnected world. Section 8. Whispers on the Wind. Days turned into weeks. They learned about a small community of survivors. They were hundreds of miles away, but the thought of them, of other human voices, filled them with a renewed sense of purpose. They began prepping for the journey. They gathered supplies, studied maps, and prepped their vehicle. Their shared dream of reaching this community fueled their determination. The world was still silent, but it no longer felt empty. They were no longer defined by their solitude. They had a destination, a reason to hope. Section 9, A Glimmer of Hope. As they were about to leave, John stumbled upon something buried in the garden. It was a metal box, rusted with age. Inside they found a hand-drawn map. It depicted a network of underground tunnels, marked with symbols they didn't recognize. Were these tunnels a clue to another group of survivors, a hidden world beneath their feet? They looked at each other, their eyes filled with wonder and a touch of trepidation. Their journey had taken an unexpected turn. The world, it seemed, was full of whispers. They just had to listen closely enough to hear them. And in that moment, standing on the precipice of the unknown, they knew their journey was far from over. Section 10, The Choice. They stand on the brink of discovery. The truth lies ahead, but survival means deciding what comes next. Do they step through the mysterious door, leaving behind the remnants of their past? Do they follow the shadow that haunts them, risking whatever lurks in the silence? Or do they stay, just the two of them, accepting that whatever future remains, it belongs to them alone? Because maybe being the last wasn't a tragedy. Maybe it was a beginning for their lives and future. Please subscribe, like, and comment to support our channel.